What we do here is go back.
I have already rated 50 different champions in the support role, but some of them over 4 years ago. In this series, we are quickly revisiting old picks to see how they compare to what I know now, and re-ranking them as needed, as well as including your guys' rankings and making a tier list based on that. In this episode, we'll be looking at Yuumi. Now, the original video I made on April 18th, 2019, so again, 4 years ago. And the original grade I gave her was an S. Let's look at what's changed. First of all, I didn't realize that I would end up hating this champion even more than Morgana, as a champion that can't be interacted with and is either OP or is useless. Just seems like a terrible champion design. But complaints aside, let's talk about what's changed. Unlike Cyan, she actually did end up going through a champion mini rework, as she has been a support that has dominated the pro scene to the point where she already has a world skin. This is the first time I've actually fully dove into the mini rework, as she is one of my least played supports. Wait, I literally used to main Zyra in like season 3 or 4, and apparently I never play her at all now. Whack. Also, how cringe is this rework? Like, I'm happy I'm done with school so I don't have to read textbooks anymore, as this is just a block of text which I'm going to reluctantly read for the first time now so you guys don't have to. You're welcome. Okay, I've finished reading it. I will do my best to summarize this. Her new passive periodically grants her next basic attack a heal instead of a shield, and when you attach with someone, they gain that heal as well. They also try to get rid of the Yuumi just jumping on a super fed ally and just snowballing the game, because now there's a friendship mechanic. You can gain friendship stacks when you are attached to someone and they kill champions and minions. The person with the most of these stacks becomes her best friend, which will empower her abilities. But pretty much the way I think this mechanic should work is that if someone wants me to play Yuumi, I will unfriend them from my list, as I am not doing that. Her Q no longer deals current health damage, which I never knew it did, and it looks like the slow when the Q is empowered now scales. Oh, by the way, her Q is empowered when she is attached, and it's flown for 1.35 seconds. The best friend bonus is that the slow will always be empowered, and hitting a champion will give her best friend on-hit damage for 5 seconds, which scales with their critical strike chance, which is, again, whack. Her W no longer grants herself and her ally adaptive force, which I had no idea they removed. Instead, they added something, which again, no clue that they did this, but Yuumi gains heal and shield power, and her best friend gains on-hit healing, which is affected by her heal and shield power. Her E no longer heals, but rather shields, and also costs maximum mana, and grants her target attack speed that scales with Yuumi's AP. Finally, her ultimate has reduced waves, can now be steered in a direction by using your mouse, heals all allies it hits, or shields them if they have max HP, but no longer roots enemies who got hit by 3 waves. Instead, it now slows enemies for a measly 10%, which can increase by 10% per wave, and also has a best friend bonus which just increases total healing. In my original video, I made the complaint that she had no hard CC in her kit outside of her ultimate, so she wasn't my favorite support, and now they've completely removed all hard CC, making her, I think, the only support out there with no hard CC. What an amazing champion, right? When it comes to items, they changed Moonstorm Renewer, so now that when you heal your ally, it changes that heal to the nearest ally champion, and the same applies to shielding allies, which I think is an alright change, which I'll be honest, I have no strong feeling about because I don't really play enchanters too often. Now, there haven't been too many other changes to the champion, so let's re-rate her. Originally, I gave her an S all the way back when she was on the PvE, and like a lot of champions, I'm actually going to bump her down a little bit to an S-. She's become so ADC reliant that unless you have a really good duo, she's going to feel really miserable to play. In the past, you at least had the failsafe where you could jump on the most fed member and help them carry, but they took that away, so like in this game where I had an Ezreal that refused to move to any fights, it really felt like we just had 2 useless units, which sucked. They also really limited her playmaking ability by getting rid of her hard CC, which is another thing I just don't like in general. That being said, I'd be absolutely thrilled if she is indeed in a weaker state, as she is one of the least fun champions to play against because you just can't interact with her, and I think that is a terrible design philosophy for this game. I understand the argument that they want an easy champion that someone who is just learning the game can play, but I think the other enchanters can already fit that bill, and we just don't need a support that just gets abused by smurfs in order to 2v8 the game. Now originally I was going to gather champion main reddings, but I kinda hate interacting with League Reddit, so I'm gonna stick to my community. The community rated Yuumi as a 3.84, which rates her higher than Cyan, which is a good thing, as even though I hate her, she's definitely designed as a support, but hopefully she stays as a subpar one for a very long time. Don't forget to make sure to check out my community tab if you want to rate any of the other upcoming supports to have your opinion be heard. That's all for this video. The next one I believe will be a Mumu, which has had a pretty interesting change since I've rated him initially. So if you'd be interested in seeing that one, make sure to subscribe, maybe give this video a like, and I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I want to wish you good luck on your off-meta adventures.